Well, good morning, everybody. This is Tommy Boy. Unfortunately, howdy, a little bit under the weather today, so it's going to be me and a few guests here with you this morning. We're going to have Kyle Westwood from the NSRL on here a little later. We got the one, the only, not the one, sorry. We've got the ass, the only one over there that can take that title, I guess, over our brothers over at Black and White Sports. He'll be on here. He's got some things to tell you about the network in general here at BW Sports 1. And then we're going to talk to Timothy Trowbridge, the electrical engineer for the AJ Foyt team here in the Indianapolis, or the IndyCar series there. So a load of stuff to talk about. Ass, how you doing this morning?
I'm feeling a little bit better than you are, I'm sure.
I'm a little sore. We'll talk about the network, and then you were there to witness that yesterday. We can talk a little about my first day back at the track. Whew, what a blast.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good day. So, I appreciate you getting me on here. We are kind of blowing up, I want to say, in our own little way. BW Sports 1 is now not just on Sunday morning and Wednesday nights. We've been adding shows. So Tuesdays, we have actually the Dynasty Bros FF podcast doing an exclusive 2020 NFL redraft at 7 o'clock. And then,
so you say FF. Not everybody knows what you're saying. This is a racing show
football,
here.
my bad.
All right. There we go.
There you go. Fantasy football. I gotta be reminded that sometimes. Fantasy football. So all you fantasy football goers out there, check out Dynasty Bros. And if you want to win your next season, which I'm gonna try to, if there is a NFL, I'm gonna follow them and get my guys right.
Really
then
good
after their show. What? Go ahead.
I was just saying, really good information coming out of those guys. A really good show. Not as kid friendly as this show is. It's kind of like Black and White Sports there. You're gonna get some language. You're gonna get some stuff. So the adults, tune into that one. It is a great time. Maybe your kids can tune in too, as long as you talk to them first. Let them know, hey, there might be a couple earmuff times in here.
Parental advisory.
There you go. Exactly. I just like to give a little heads up. Nothing wrong with it, but just so we don't stray people away and freak them out. Whoa! Yeah, exactly.
Say, ooh, that's not good.
Where'd you learn that word? BW Sports 1. I mean,
yeah, they say all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
That's not too good though.
Right. Brandon Ferris. Good morning. Congrats to his boy Asher taking that win yesterday out at Whiteland. It was so much fun to be out there. But you keep going there, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute.
Okay. Then 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, we have Taco Tuesday with the one in the ass. We've had a couple good conversations on Taco Tuesdays. This week we actually have some esport guys on there talking to us. Julian Thomas is finally, Gator Melon's finally going to jump back in on the mic, and he's bringing a head coach of a varsity esport team from a university. So
very nice. It'd be kind of interesting to see the dynamic, I guess, inside an esport team. I know myself being in iRacing, what it's like to be on a team there, but as far as esports go, because I know he's into Rocket League and some other things like that. So kind of interesting to see how that'll work out.
Yeah, I'm just as interested and intrigued as you are, honestly, because I've got little bits and pieces of it. Seen a little video about a year or so ago about what Jillian was doing, and I was intrigued. So it's definitely going to be fun to watch and follow them.
Hey, real quick.
Yep.
We got somebody on here. If you can see the video, who am I? I'm Brooks Trammell waking up this morning doing earthquake. Whoa! No, glad everybody's okay there. I saw him saying that. His wife's like, dude, you're lost. I don't know what you're talking about. There wasn't no earthquake. No, there definitely was. It was a strong one. Hopefully everybody's all right there.
Yeah, I did see that. I got the notification.
Yeah, I just got a notification on the phone. Thankfully, I didn't get woke up from my bed and shaking there.
Right. So on Wednesday nights, we actually have, the flagship show, Wednesday Night Live, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's always, the fun show. Well, I'm not saying yours isn't or any of the other ones, but that's kind of like that was the original.
That's the OG right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the OG show. There you go. And then on Thursdays, we kind of flip-flop the name every once in a while. Sometimes you guys would like this. It's pole position, but it's not P-O-L-L or P-O-L-E. It's P-O-L-L. So we put up a poll. We talk about the poll. Now, what it's been more recently is Couch Talk, and we have, some interviews on there. We talk a little bit of everything to everybody. Last week, we actually were fortunate enough to have the man himself, Nathan Manis, from the UFC on with us. He's finally got his debut fight in and victorious. So we're looking forward to more things to see out of him. And we kind of walked into an exclusive with him because every fight with him in the UFC, we now get a week before interview and the first show to do a post-fight interview.
Very nice there. So big things happening there real quick. Jason Reese, I want to know more about that. That looks fantastic. Okay, August 21st, 22nd. Happy birthday, Mom. We're going to the Indy Mile. We're going to watch some motorcycle racing, flat track action. I think that'd be pretty fun to watch there. Jason Reese, thank you. Guys, if you know anything going on like that, these smaller things that I can't necessarily, I try to keep track of as much as possible, but things like that, Jason Reese, you are the man, sir. Thank you.
Yes. And speaking of my last thing of the shows on the network, what's going on is, speaking of August 22nd, it is the night before the greatest spectacle in racing that's not a spectacle live this year.
It'll be live, but on TV, unfortunately.
Not for people such as ourselves that's not going to be able to be there. I'm sure you and Timmy can talk about that more so here in a little bit, though. But August 22nd, the night before SummerSlam, Super Kicking It with Steven is our new wrestling show on the BW Sports 1 network starting August 22nd, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for all you wrestling heads.
There you go.
I'm used to saying racing heads.
I know, all you checkers and wreckers heads out there, yeah, right? Alex Bergeron is on the show today. Look at that. I'm excited to see. I don't know how much you know about the dirt iRacing world. I'm sure you know that name. That sounds familiar, as the Checkers and Wreckers guys went up against him last year. But I'm excited to see him. I believe he gets a ride, and maybe he's already taken it, but in a real sprint car. So, again, kind of that crossover from iRacing into the real world. Alex, let me know if you got any more information on when you'll be taking that ride or anything out like that. So, what the Kraken is in the house. What's up, Cracky? How's it going? Cedar Lake last night. Josh, I got to be honest. I didn't catch it. My butt was exhausted. Have we ran down pretty much everything on the BW Sports 1 network now?
Other than you guys at 11.
They know us, yeah.
Time every Sunday.
If you're tuning in.
You got to end the week on a Sunday morning.
Or you start it. It's easy like a Sunday morning. Kyle's going, oh my
go.
God, I can't believe I'm sitting here listening.
He's so he's probably
My
wishing he turned his ears on mute instead of just his mic. But
right. And Bergeron's saying actually right now, since he's Canadian, he cannot come down here. Can't get that ride right now, but he's trying to get it here as soon as possible in New York there. So good luck, Bergeron. Let me know. Keep me posted on that. I love that crossover. Just to see these iRacing guys that are really good and get a crossover into the real world there and hopefully be just as good there. But I really like to see that. We've talked about that before. And let's get into it now. Kyle, you can join us in this chat here. I'll tell you what, we'll bring Tim up here as well. Timmy, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing all right, and you?
Fantastic. Kyle, do you have a copy?
he must have ran to the bathroom.
He's still muted. We'll give him a minute.
Nope, I'm sorry, guys. Of course, the one time I put my headset down for 1 minute.
1 minute. 1 minute there. How's it going, Kyle?
Oh, not too bad. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. And you might know these names as names that race on CWTV quite often. We got Timmy Three-Wide Trowbridge and Kyle Reckwood here. But really, Kyle, just his knowledge in NASCAR is second to none here. Some people would say it's a little bit of an obsession there. Yeah, maybe. I mean, you said it yourself, but so
obsession, addiction, about the same thing.
Yeah,
right, exactly. And then
whatever makes me feel better.
Timothy is gonna. You got a big week coming up, sir, don't you?
Yes, sir. We're starting it. We're getting ready.
Getting ready, and for those of you who don't know, Timmy, he goes 3 wide around the turns in the virtual world, but he's setting up the steering wheel for these guys at AJ Foyt to take it 3 wide in the real world. So that's got to be an absolute blast. What's the feelings like going into the week here before the big show?
Everybody's trying to just stay calm. Obviously, as you know, we should have been at Mid-Ohio yesterday and today running, but
right.
Unfortunately, we had some stuff happen. So really, we were all ready for Mid-Ohio. We thought it was going to be a really fast turnaround, and instead, we've gotten the whole week this week or last week, and then Monday, Tuesday this week, just to get kind of settled in. We're moving into the Speedway on Monday and Tuesday, and obviously, we hit the track on Wednesday, and it's all getting ready, coming pretty quick, but we've tried to be patient as patient as we could be, as meticulous as we could be, as obviously this is one of the biggest races of the year for everybody. This is the one race a year we really focus on the most, and I'd hate to say it, but the rest of the year is just kind of the rest of the year. Everybody focuses on one race, and typically it's May, and this year we're starting at the end of August, and we're middle of August right now, but yeah, it's just actually pretty calm so far. I think everybody's just getting ready to have some fun and turn some laps at the famous Indy Motor Speedway.
So right now it's the calm before the storm, if you will, before all the stress and everything like that happens of getting that car set up, getting on qualifying, all those practice days ahead. But man, oh man, before that all starts, we're going to get back to that IndyCar session here in a little bit. But we had some exciting racing in 3 or 4 different classes yesterday alone. And I'm going to start off. I got to brag a little bit, guys, because I used to race back when I was 14, 15, something like that. And I finally grew the pair to get out there yesterday and put it back on the track. And my goodness, I was dead last in my heat. Couldn't stop smiling. I was dead last starting in the feature. I couldn't stop smiling. I even wrecked in the feature. I couldn't stop smiling. But it's just so much fun going out there. And Tim, it kind of goes to play there is you get to kind of enjoy it's your job. So I don't know, is it that enjoyable constantly? I mean, obviously you don't want to get in trouble and say no, but I mean, I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. Are you like that every day going in?
Yeah, most of the time. Obviously, I can at least reference probably 2018 Indy 500 and the 2019 Gateway race where at the end of it, you're just so focused, you're not even thinking about what's all going on. You're just trying to make sure everything's going right.
Right.
But all the other races, yeah, it's unless something happens, which I mean, stuff happens all the time and accidents happen. But yeah, really, it's always having fun, always trying to enjoy what you're doing and have as much fun out of it as you can.
Absolutely. And here's a little crossover, if you will, from IndyCar to NASCAR real quick. Big name in IndyCar, Tim Cindric. Well, he's got a son that races in the Xfinity Series. Did you guys catch that race yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Kyle, I know
was
you.
Just waiting for somebody else to answer that one.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to comment on this yet.
Oh yeah, Kyle, you are here because I know this is your playing field. This is your playground now. What'd you think? First of all, let's talk about these Xfinity cars on these road courses this year. Really exciting racing.
Yeah, I think the Xfinity series in general has been very exciting this season. But yeah, especially on the road courses. Over the last few years, they've just been, especially Road America, that's always been one of my favorites. But they put on a hell of a show there.
Absolutely there. And Tim, I know you were excited to see Road America there as well. Did you think that Allmendinger had a shot there?
I was kind of torn because I was all excited to see Cindric up front, but it's always really cool to see the Dinger out doing his stuff. I definitely thought it was going to be a really tight battle, and I was very impressed on Cindric there for that last final restart to be able to hold off and get a good gap on Allmendinger to be able to hold on to it.
Absolutely there. And just like I said, it's just showing so much excitement. And do you think, Kyle, now with seeing the excitement that these road courses have brought, being with the addition to the IMS here on the road course, are we going to see more road course races in, or possibly even a street course race with Xfinity?
Oh, I think so. I think you'll even see it go up to the Cup Series as well. I know they're in talks of possibly looking into street courses with the new car that comes out now in 2022. So I don't think we'll see it next year, but I know with the addition of the Daytona road course, the Indianapolis road course, I think they're starting to realize that fans are kind of pushing more for the road courses and short tracks, so they're starting to see more and more of them pop up on the schedule.
I think back when NASCAR started on the ovals and they tried to make this run to the road courses and stuff, the traditional fan, you either liked NASCAR or you liked F1. And it was oval or it was a road course. So a lot of guys didn't like to see the merging there of the road course, because I think for a while NASCAR's road course races were kind of boring. But now it seems like these guys understand road courses a little better. These cars are a little more fit for the road course. Can you imagine taking one of those 87s out on Watkins Glen?
I couldn't imagine it. I don't know if I'd want to imagine it.
I mean, I think that just goes to show, we kind of talk about NASCAR kind of losing its allure and stuff like that. Kyle, don't kill me. But I think, with the addition of the road courses and maybe some street courses, like you said later on, that's really going to help NASCAR in a little resurgence here.
I think so. I think a lot of it's just a lot of the diehard fans, I think, are kind of opposed to the change. But I don't know, I wish people would give it more of a chance, evolve with the sport. The sport wants to evolve. I think the fans just need to be a little more open to it.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I mean, Tim, what do you think as far as a setup? I don't know how much you know about a stock car setup compared to what you're doing in IndyCar, but to take these cars out on a street course, I mean, how doable do you think it is? Or are they going to have to wait until this new car comes out with a different suspension?
I think it's pretty possible. I mean, even if you quote Mr. Cole Pern, he was just talking about his transition from stock cars to Indy cars, how a lot of the basics and the fundamentals are still the same. Really the big thing, and a lot of fans I know have talked about it before, a lot of it's going to be on the ride heights. For us, a big difference is you go to a street course, you just need to add some ride height to the car. You don't need to be bottoming out the whole time, as opposed to a permanent road course. You want to get as much aero as you can. You get the car as low as you can, as opposed to a street course. You bring that car up quite a bit off the ground. And as far as I know, the Cup cars can come up a bit. Maybe even the Xfinity cars can come up some, but it's really a big change is just needing to get some ride height in the car. And I'm pretty sure they could do it. I mean, Even look at Toronto when we go up to the Canada race every year. We run with the Pinty series, so we know the NASCAR cars can run on street courses. I'd love to see an Xfinity car come out with us to Toronto one of these years.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting there to see, honestly. And I'm trying to think of the other instance. Oh goodness, I'm gonna have to keep going on that because I couldn't. I've lost track there. But you look at these road courses, everything like that, and like I said, you got to choose it right though, because obviously you can't take NASCAR to Detroit Belle Isle and think that that's going to be an entertaining race, because there's not going to be any of that passing. You have to get that kind of that wide course for NASCAR to really do its work.
Well, maybe another Checkers a Record special event. Let's try a Xfinity car in Detroit.
There you go.
Got the sim.
Exactly. See, that's what I do like about the sim. Is it 100%? No. Is it fun to go out there and do things like that? Absolutely. I mean, it's a blast. But I'm trying to think, where would you have a passing ability in a stock car? Just down the straight, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'd probably be more fun than the Brickyard.
Well,
create your own passing zone.
Yeah. Coming from Reckwood himself, there, it's when you create your own passing zones, baby. No, that's good. It's a hard course for IndyCar to take on, but I think these street courses in general are a little tighter, so it would be fun to see. But I think they on top of just throwing them into one, NASCAR knows that if they want to play it right, that they're going to have to make sure that the track that they choose is going to be a very entertaining track to keep it going.
Personally, if I can comment here, I think NASCAR's doing the right thing. They're still keeping their fundamentals. They want to keep the Daytona 500 tradition and the ovals and stuff like that, but they're also trying to mix it up.
And I think you have to, right? Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you there. Like I said, I think NASCAR is finally on they've been on a downfall for a few years now, and I know a lot of people are kind of walking away from the sport right now for their own reasons, but I think we're going to start to see a climb here in the sport, not only because what NASCAR is trying to do here, trying to change some things up from what these older fans didn't like them doing, but also you look at the talent of last year's or this year's rookie class in Cup. You look at the talent in the next year's rookie class possible, or the next few years coming up, and it's not daddy's money anymore in Xfinity. This is talent.
All right, you see some of those guys that come up with daddy's money.
That's what I was going to say. I knew you were going to say it.
The Cup Series, yep. They get to the Cup Series, and then they just kind of fall off because that series isn't about more. That one's more in the driver's hands. It's not really a...
Who's your favorite driver in the Xfinity series?
My favorite? My least favorite.
No, you're the one that you were asking. Turn 1, he had a nightmare like yesterday.
Oh, don't even get me started. Riley Herbst.
So I think that's kind of one of those guys that you're talking about. But if he found his way into the Cub side, he would kind of fall back. But for the most part, I do think that it's not guys jumping up and jumping ahead like we've seen before. And don't take this the wrong way, the Dillons. But it's kind of like they had that money and they jumped in that Cup car. And now they're starting to produce a little, at least Austin is. But, I mean, it took them too long to really get there.
Right, and I'd hate to say it, but honestly, I think the only reason you're starting to see Austin do a little better is because you got that new package that kind of levels it out for everybody.
Well, and
I think you put on a package that puts it more into like the driver's hand, a little tougher to drive. I think Austin starts to fall back a little bit again.
Absolutely. And Tim, how much of I shouldn't say daddy's money, but how much of that is a play in IndyCar? Because in F1, we see it a bunch. Is it as prevalent in IndyCar as it is in F1? Because it really seems like you look down the line in IndyCar, and you've got 20 of the top drivers that I think could drive anything.
Really, it's not as bad, but as you kind of just said, we only have 22 to 25 cars typically, so it's a lot harder. It's not just going out there and, how do I put it properly? It's not just trying to find field fillers. A lot of the guys that are in there, some people don't always feel that they should be in the right ride, but they're in the ride for a reason. It's not just because mom and dad or so-and-so sponsor threw a bunch of money just for the heck of it.
Right.
They've worked their way up somehow, some way. They've proven themselves in some form or another. It's a lot less likely when you've got such a smaller field as opposed to the 35 to 40 you see in the Cup and Xfinity series.
And that makes sense. There's not really something I kind of put into play. Is like you said, it's kind of more of a field filler that they want these cars in the field there, and these back guys, you're going to have to get them from somewhere. You can't produce that top talent across the board, across 40 drivers.
I mean, really, you even see it with the 500 that, especially this year with 33 only so far confirmed, with Dragon Speed coming out.
Yep.
What was it, yesterday or the day before? Finally getting that 33rd car. It's some people look at it as, oh, well, it's just a field filler, but everybody's looking at that tradition that 33 is our bare minimum. You don't really see as much just kind of field filler because, again, biggest race of the year, you got to really work to get in that field. It's not just because somebody threw some money at it.
Right, absolutely there. So we move on from the Xfinity race, and good old Michigan on the oval goes down for the first of 2 races here this weekend. I'm not going to call it a doubleheader because we were talking about this before as Kyle was choosing between an omelet and chocolate pancakes, but we were trying, and that was a debate right there. But
Took about an hour.
we were talking about doubleheader in NASCAR is completely different than a doubleheader in baseball. Over there at the black and white sports world, doubleheader means a little different thing. But obviously, these guys aren't going to hop out of a car 2 minutes later and hop back in to pull a doubleheader. You got to give them some time. Trust me, I understand that. As I was exhausted, I can only imagine these guys going 500 miles, what they feel like. But my question to both of you guys here, is anybody going to beat Kevin Harvick or Denny Hamlin this year when it comes to the title?
Nope.
That was a quick
I'll
no
just
from
leave it at
Kyle.
that. I'm going to leave it at that. Just nope.
Tim, do you think anybody can catch those guys?
I think it's all going to depend on how the Final Four fall. You can always have that gamble right at the end that somebody gets in last minute and just gets prepared.
Absolutely. And that's, I mean, we looked to Michigan today in that second of 2 races here this weekend, and the question still stays. Does anybody beat the 4-11 today?
I think, so after watching yesterday, I think if they can make the right adjustments over the night and get it a little better, I think Brad Keselowski might have a thing to say.
And he
Today
was
during the
very
race.
close. He had that charge coming there on that last lap. And you know, let's talk about Keselowski here because maybe he's feeling a little more confident, a little more comfortable in that ride right now. He gets that extension. Everybody kind of thought he was going to the 48 machine. I mean, we've talked about it all year here. I've seen speculations across the board that Keselowski is going to be driving that 48. What was your guys' thoughts when you saw Keselowski got that extension there?
Tim, you want to go first?
It kind of reminded me of Pagenaud last year, that there's all the speculation of this and that, and they're not performing how they want to be, and they do one really good thing, and Roger Penske is a very smart man and very good businessman, and he finds the right opportunity to break some news. And after a big win like last week at New Hampshire, that was the perfect opportunity to say, hey, by the way, we're extending it. So it was just like Pagenaud after the month of May last year. It was the perfect opportunity, and I feel that trying to dumb down all the speculation of them losing Brad right after a pretty big one like that was just the perfect opportunity to spread the word.
Absolutely there. Kyle, what were you thinking?
So with you, I was kind of 50-50 on it the entire time. I knew Brad, his first time with Hendrick, the experience wasn't great. He's had some run-ins with Hendrick drivers over the years. Been some bad blood there. Even earlier this season, him and the 48 got together, spinning Jimmy into the grass. The further the season went on, the less and less I was starting to think Brad was actually going to get that ride. And then he was just doing so well in the 2-car mid-season there. I was starting to find it hard to believe he was going to leave.
Yeah, absolutely there. And so not only did Keselowski get an extension, but Jones gets the pink slip. He gets seen the door after the end of this season. And Bell is going to step in that ride and take over there. Kind of expected. It'd be hard to say that nobody saw this coming. But at the same time, does that kind of open the door for Hendricks to take Jones as and look at a young team there?
Honest with you, I think so, but I don't think it would be the best move. I think there's better talent out there right now to go after than Eric Jones, if I'm being honest. I could see it happening, but like I said, I would love to see Reddick or somebody like that, Chastain, get the 48 over Eric Jones.
Absolutely there. Tim, what do you think on that one?
I don't know just yet. I know, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Westwood, but Eric Jones, he's been pretty consistent. He hasn't been a front runner the whole time, but he's been putting up some pretty consistent numbers, just unfortunately not being all the way at the front. I gotta be a Jones fan here. Got some ties with girlfriend's current career with some of his sponsors, so I've been around Jones, and he's really cool. He's really nice, really good driver. I'd hate to see him leave, but I don't know about the 48 car. I don't know how strong of ties Toyota has on him, and see if they let him get away. But we'll see. I do think there's some pretty good talent that could fill that 48 car, but don't want to see other current young drivers like that kind of get the boot.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you there, and that makes sense. And you look down at, and Kyle mentioned it, you could look at Cindric, but Cindric almost has a place guaranteed for him in Penske. I would think, I don't know 100%, but I would think that he's going to wait for that ride to open in Penske. Then you look at Briscoe. Briscoe could be a good seat to pop into that 48 machine. I think he is a very good candidate for that. But my next question would be, does Hendrick maybe toss around the option of just fielding a three-car team?
I honestly think that's where it's going. I think their performance has, in general, has been off the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I think before they fill the 48, and they might fill the 48 and retire the 88. Whatever they do, I do personally think they're going to go down to a 3-car team next season.
Absolutely. Tim, let's, instead of just asking you what you think on that, this is again a great kind of relation to IndyCars. We've seen, let's use Ganassi as our pointer here, as that Ganassi team. If we were looking at that as Hendrick, and say that 3-car was Hendrick's 4-car, that 3rd car never really performed well. It was kind of just a car that was there to collect data and help out the bigger 2 drivers on that team. Now, do you think if Hendrick was to take away that 3rd car, he would be able to a lot more time? Obviously, the money's there, but the time, would that kind of see its way and merge itself into victories then?
Yeah, I can kind of see it possibly. I know you look at Ganassi did a big downsize from 4 to 2 just a couple years ago. What was it, 2017, 2018?
Yep.
Penske got rid of their 4th car, shrunk down to a 3-car. A lot of times it does get to a point to where, like Kyle said, they're not always performing the top of their level. Sometimes you wonder if they have gone too thin, and sometimes it's not a bad idea to maybe drop down one, take a year or two, kind of get your restructure, get yourself back where you want to be, and then start reintroducing, just like Ganassi did this year with adding a 3rd car again.
Yep.
And slowly starting to build up. Like, I'd hate to see a 4th Hendrick car go away and only run 3 Hendrick cars, but if it means losing 1 car for them to be top of the game, top of the field yet again, I wouldn't be opposed to it. And potentially in a couple of years, maybe with the new car, they go back to a 4th car. I could see it happening. That's for sure.
Absolutely there. And Brandon took the words right out of my mouth here, is just like Andretti and Kyle, I don't know how much you follow IndyCar, but Tim, maybe you could kind of give us a little insight on this. Is, man, Andretti so strong last year. They have a great year. Rossi is in the running for a title, and this year they can't hardly get a top 5. They're struggling. Is it Honda putting too much you can't think it's Honda because you look at Graham Rahal's team, or Rahal Letterman. They're doing good. Ganassi's doing good. So Is it something in Andretti? Is it 5 or 6 cars? Are they too thin?
I definitely feel there's something going on there because, like you said, that's a pretty big team. I wouldn't be too concerned with Schenk, obviously, because Schenk is just kind of an associate and is getting some help from him, but it's not considered a true Andretti car. But I'd say that's getting pretty thin. I know for us at Foyt, sometimes, especially for Indy, the third car is definitely, you start to really stretch. You stretch all your resources and your personnel, and you bring in additional people. I can't even imagine having enough people to run that size of a team full time. Yeah, I don't know if I'd put it as Honda per se, but at the same time, if you look at it, it could be just they've got too many strong drivers. I mean, you got Rossi and Herta. You don't really have a true top dog over there right now. You've got so many guys that perform well, especially last year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can't decide which one to give set A, which is the top priority. Set B is the next level down. It might just be too much internal fighting as well, if you think about it.
Absolutely. I was wondering because that was my next question with that. With Colton Herta being signed, it seemed like they had to do something to keep him there at Andretti. They knew that team wasn't going to be a team necessarily that next year. Maybe they weren't going to be able to fund it. So he was either going to walk to McLaren, I believe, or they were going to put that 5th car in Andretti. He put the 5th car in, and since then, it's just not working.
Yeah, like I said, I'm curious. You see it with Ganassi. Is obviously everything for Ganassi is the 9 car. The 10 car is obviously performing very well this year, but that's also got such a phenomenal driver with Felix. But everything from what I've heard, from what I've seen, everything is always make sure that 9 car is top of the line. You know that, and then it goes to, okay, make sure the 10 car has just as good stuff, but make sure that 9 car is ready first. I'm curious if there's anything on the Andretti side that they can't really decide which one to go first, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're probably wondering why Marco's getting set A every week. Like, what is going on? Why is Marco getting set A, guys? This is ridiculous. That's probably what it is. Kyle, do you follow any IndyCar as far as that goes?
I'll be honest with you, not really. I'll watch it if it's on. If I'm flipping through the channels and I notice it's on and I forgot about it, I'll turn it on and I'll watch like the bigger races.
Mm-hmm.
I watch the Indy 500 every season. I'll usually watch the season opener.
Yep.
But that's about my extent of IndyCar, if I'm being honest.
Well, hey, when you're addicted to something else, it's hard to go. I was gonna use something else, but that's not appropriate. But you love NASCAR. It's hard to go anywhere else when you know NASCAR is going pretty much every Sunday. I'm with you there.
Yeah, and it's weird because I do enjoy all forms of motorsports. I just find myself
tuning in NASCAR.
I guess dedicated to just one. Yeah.
So Kyle's looking for a second TV. If anybody wants to donate a TV so he can watch IndyCar and NASCAR at the same time, just hit him up there. He'll gladly accept that. But my goodness, gotta love that. So, Kyle, I'm sure you've heard of the name Tony Kanaan, right?
Yes, I have.
So
and I saw he just joined that SRX series that we.
He did.
Ago.
So that is something I'd like to ask Tim about. And another thing I'd like to ask Tim about here is Tony Kanaan has come out, and this is the team that Tim works for here, AJ Foyt, and he said it's not right. Him and Foyt, it seems like, agree with this. It is not right for Tony Kanaan, such a mentor to the sport, such a iconic name in the sport, to leave and be his final 500 without the fans that really made him so much today. So, Tim, is it almost a guarantee that he's going to be riding with Foyt, or is his name so big in the paddock there in IndyCar that he's pretty confident somebody's going to let him ride with him?
To be honest, I haven't heard anything directly from anybody in any position of power to be able to answer that just yet, but I'm not going to lie. I would love to run with Tony for as many 500s as he wants to run, because obviously, as everybody knows, Tony knows his way around Indy. And as close as we came in 2018, I was just amazed how close my first full-time 500, being able to lead laps on pace and having a very good shot at the win. I'd love to run another one with Tony, but we'll see. We obviously, with the way the season's been going, I think there's a lot of unknowns still, especially how our season was supposed to go. We were supposed to have 3 guys circulating that 14 car, and now it's so many unknowns because unfortunately all of the races that we were supposed to have Mr. Bourdais in, the 5 that he was going to run, all 5 of those have been canceled. So hopefully one day we get him in the car here. We'll see if anything happens this season. Like I said, haven't heard anything just there, but I don't know. I could definitely see Tony coming back because I really think that Tony has such a good relationship with all of us at Foyt. I mean, with Larry, with AJ, with all of us here, it'd be phenomenal to put him in another car, even if it's a 3rd car. But like I said, we really haven't talked much about that just yet. But I do think that if Tony felt the need to go somewhere else, he definitely has the name and the resume at the Speedway to be able to get a very good ride at the 500 if he doesn't feel that the Foyt car is what he wants to be. He definitely has the pedigree, he has the resume, and he's got the really good sponsors, I think, to back him if he decided to go elsewhere, find a different car.
Absolutely there. And like I said, I mean, you look at Tony Kanaan, he might not be the best driver across all the tracks, but you put him on that IMS and any given day, and I think any given car, he could do it for you. So.
Oh, for sure. He knows his way around that brickyard right there. That's for sure. Since his first one there, he's always been quick at the Speedway.
Absolutely there. And like I said, and I agree there, Tony Kanaan, like I said, he's such a name in the sport, such an icon there. I do want to see him in there when I'm in the stands, when fans are in the stands to kind of, wave goodbye to Tony Kanaan here at IMS. He deserves that. He didn't get the full-time ride he wanted this year to kind of wave goodbye to everybody. So I think he does at least deserve that.
Oh, for sure. As big of a fan favorite as he is, as much as I know he loves the fans and the fans love him, it's going to be probably one of the weirdest 500s for me to be able to see us have driver intros. And when Mr. TK is announced and not feeling the bleachers shake
Right.
from everybody yelling and screaming, it's going to be one of the weirdest things.
Absolutely there. And, well, Kyle, I don't want to hold you up any longer here, as I know you got an omelet waiting on you. Whether or not you want that omelet or not's a question. Chocolate pancake still sounds so much better than an omelet. I'm not an egg guy. But is there anything else that you'd like to add into the NASCAR segment? If not, I'm going to ask for your picks before you leave here.
No, I think we covered everything for the most part.
All right, so I got to ask your checkers and wreckers picks before you go and eat that lovely omelet you're going to wish was chocolate pancakes. But so, checker, pick for today. Do you got one for me?
I think Brad Keselowski gets it done.
Brad K.
I'll say he beats out Harvick today.
All right. What about a wrecker?
I've been picking him the last couple times now, and he's wrecked every race so far that I picked him. So I'm going to go Kyle Busch again.
Yep, I knew that was coming. Do you have a dark horse?
Is Bubba Wallace considered a dark horse?
I'll give you that.
Okay, he's been slowly moving his way up that finishing position leaderboard, I guess you want to call it.
Absolutely.
I think today he gets a pretty good finish.
I think those are pretty good picks right there. If I was a betting man, which I am, I'll probably use some of those there. So I would take Kyle's advice there. Like I said, he knows what he's talking about here.
Will I see you in the DraftKings today?
I'm going to remember, yes. Yes, I will. I've been on a roll, the ones that I've remembered.
I have not been. I mean, you've been stealing all my money lately.
Trying. So awesome there, sir. And I'm trying to think. Just let them know, obviously, CWTV Wednesday, what you got going on there, and Tuesday as well.
Yeah, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Last week, our season started for the NSRL series. We have our developmental series, I guess you could call it, on Tuesdays with the truck series, racing Tuesdays at 11 a.m. is when practice opens. Then Wednesday we have our Cup series.
Absolutely. So check them out there if you want to get into the fun and excitement over there. Check them out. Tuesdays you got to run with them first, and then Kyle will maybe, if you're good enough, accept you into that Wednesday league to race with the big dogs there. And check it out, CWTV, noon Eastern there, and it is always a blast. Kyle, thanks so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You have a fantastic day, sir.
All right, Tommy, Tim, you guys take care.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
You
sir, you
enjoy
too.
that omelet.
Oh, I will.
He will not. He'll be thinking of chocolate pancakes the whole time. So, Tim, I'm going to go to Jason Reese. He asked the question here. Do you think Kyle Larson will ever run the Indy 500?
I gotta say, I hope so. I really do hope to see him there over some time, because I've seen some comparisons between Larson and Clausen, and we saw Clausen was pretty good at the Speedway. Unfortunately, as we all know, we didn't really get to see him over there very much before everything happened. But
Right.
I definitely, as good as Clausen was running over there, I would just love to see how well Mr. Larson can run over there as well.
And you look at Larson, he just fits the bill for an IndyCar driver. You look at NASCAR, those guys can be a little bigger, a little taller. Larson's a small guy. Larson's that kind of horse jockey type that fits into an IndyCar very well. So that's pretty interesting. I saw a picture of one of your teammates, Dalton, out there. How tall is he?
Dalton, I believe 5'9".
Okay, the angle of this camera made him look like he was 6 foot something. And I'm wondering how the heck you guys fabricate him into the seat. Because I know Graham Rahal, I think, is the tallest driver out there, him or Joseph, right?
I believe it's between him and Ryan Hunter-Reay. Both of them are pretty tall as well.
So, yeah, it's pretty interesting there. And, you know, I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you're enjoying your last little calm before the storm here. But I saw, darn it, what was I thinking of there? Goodness gracious. We were talking about Ryan Hunter-Reay. Oh, Penske is going to take out his team at IMSA. He is no longer going to run that and has told Elio, has told Juan Pablo that they can go find rides elsewhere. Do you think we see Juan Pablo or Elio back in IndyCar in a full-time ride?
I will say I hope so, because I know, 2017 was when the whole Elio and getting retired, moving to IMSA. I know how much he was pushing to not leave IndyCar, how much he didn't want to leave. I would not be surprised at all to see Mr. Elio in the field next year, at least for a handful of races, if not full time, because I know he's going to try and push for full time. But JPM, I don't know.
I would almost think Juan's going to hang it up. And nothing, I'm a big guy, so I'm not going against big guys here, but I don't know if Juan would honestly have a comfortable position getting into that aero screen. It'd be a tight fit.
It's definitely different.
That's exactly. Brandon said it too. He might have to drop some good weight there, but how much has the car changed since Elio has driven a full-time ride? I know he's been in the 500, but Elio knows the 500. He knows IMS. He's like Tony Kanaan there. He's just very comfortable in any ride I think you give him there. But as far as a overall full-time season, how well do you think he would adapt to the new aero screen? And how well do you think he would adapt to a new car? Because one would only imagine he is not going to be with Penske full time.
To answer your first question, the cars have changed obviously quite a bit, because the last time that Elio was in the car full time was just before the new body kit. So they were the manufacturer aero kits. So obviously we've lost a lot of downforce with those cars, and then obviously now with the aero screen. What was that?
Was it the DW12 back then?
Yeah, it was still the DW12, but it was the aero kits from Chevy and Honda, the differing aero kits.
Oh, yeah. Where they had like the body panels across like the tires and everything. It looked like a... Yep. I'm with you.
So he'd have to get used to that. I know he's ran the Indy road course in 2018, 2019 in that kit, and then he only ran the Indy 500. So he's ran, I think it was 4 races in that car now with the new aero kit. I will say it'll be a competitive disadvantage for him, because obviously as most of us full-timers now, we'll probably have, what do you want to call it, half a season under our belt with the aero screen.
Right.
So there's a little bit of a difference driving the car with the aero screen, with the center of gravity change and all the more forward weight with the aero screen on the car. But at the same time, Elio's a wheelman, and Elio knows how to turn a car around any of the tracks that we go to. And really, there hasn't been many new tracks that Elio wouldn't know about.
I guess
So I
just
think
coming
that'd be
back
interesting.
to if they would re-sign Richmond, that would be really the only track he hadn't raced at. But then again, excuse me, I had the hiccups. Then again, nobody has. So
Exactly. The only other track I think it'd be interesting to see Elio in the IndyCar that's different would be what, Coda?
that's true. That did they race Laguna Seca when he was there?
Laguna and Coda. Yes, that's right.
Okay, so two courses I think Elio could do well on if he was able to hop into the car and really take advantage of what that car offered. Because it seems, and I don't know, obviously you know a lot more, but it seems like this IR18, it does have I'm not going to say a lot more, but it's got more grip. It seems like it's more of a driver's car.
It's definitely put it back into the driver's hands as opposed to all the downforce that the aero kits from the manufacturer war kits we're having.
Yep. So very interesting there, Tim. You have been just a wealth of knowledge here for this morning. I appreciate you coming on as you're relaxing before the hurricane that you got coming of the Indy 500. Good luck out there, and maybe I'll talk to you sometime in between practice and you sleeping. Give you guys some updates from the Foyt team here in their 500 journey. Good luck. I want to see Kanaan on the podium, if not win this one. I think he's got a great chance. And I think at the end of the day, nobody wants to see a new winner this year.
We'll see. I guess a good reference. Look at 18. 18 was very different for everybody because again, it was a brand new aero kit. Nobody really had any testing on the new car.
Yep.
This is a pretty similar situation. Nobody's really. I mean, you've got 2 to 4 cars, I believe, that have actually ran the speedway in the speedway trim with the aero screen, and the rest of us, we haven't touched the track yet with no open test.
I know of Dixon and Will Power. Who would be the other one?
I was trying to remember if any of the Andretti cars were at that aero screen test too.
No,
it may have just been those two.
It was just, I was actually lucky enough to go out there. It was just those two. And I want to say that it has changed, not drastically, but I think they have made some different updates to it since then. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, we've had a couple small updates, especially mostly with the cooling for the drivers, but at the same time, every little piece they're adding is a little more drag or downforce, depending on how you want to look at it. So there have been a little bit of changes. That is true.
Absolutely. So those guys, granted, you got Will Power, you got Scott Dixon. Two guys that probably need minimal time to really adjust to those situations. But you get a good gust of wind coming down that backstretch so that they didn't get it in the test, and you might get to feeling something new, as that's always something you guys got to think of there as well. And Indianapolis, it can be a beast. It can be a beauty. One of the two, it's going to happen there. But like I said, I can't say congrats enough for making it this far. It takes a team so much to really prepare and feel this calm before going into there. So congrats on that, and good luck going forward. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for the team to watch you guys through the month of August. That sounds so freaking weird.
Oh, it's so weird. Trust me, I know.
Is it August yet? That just doesn't sound right. Thank you, Tim, and you enjoy the last couple days off you got here.
Thank you, sir. And just a quick little shout out. Don't forget to check us out on the Monsters of Dirt, Pricks of Pavement
absolutely.
Cup Series.
Tonight.
Season 3 starting tonight.
You gonna get the pole?
We'll see. I don't know what strategy we want to go with just yet. Daytona's going to be
it's either you up front or you're in the back. One of the, you don't want to be in the middle, from what I've gathered.
Exactly. We'll see how it goes. But make sure to check them out on Checkers and Wreckers TV, right? We're on you tonight. Make sure to check them out.
We're going to have a blast tonight here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And or I should say thank you, Tim, for hopping on here.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. And everybody enjoy. Get ready for that month of August, like you said.
Right. I'm saying, is it May yet? That's what I want to know.
Exactly. May's coming before you know it. We'll
Right.
be back at the track again.
It'll feel like it was just yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you again, sir.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy.
Good luck. What a fantastic pairing we had today with Kyle Westwood, Timothy Trowbridge, both on the show, giving They're just expert opinions and everything like that. Gotta really thank those guys for coming on here and talking with me while Howdy's not feeling too well today. And thank you all for coming out and listening to us have a good old time here. Appreciate it. And this is the time in the show where I get to make my checkers and wreckers picks of the week. You go ahead and make them with me there. I want to know your checker, who you think's going to do good or win today. Your wrecker, not necessarily wreck, but not do as well as they should. And then I want to know your dark horse, somebody that's not a top dog like Harvick, Hamlin, Bush, none of those guys, but somebody like we heard Kyle's and Bubba Wallace there. So let's see who you guys got out for your picks today. As my checker pick on the day, it's hard to go against them. I'm going to go with Harvick. Take out the broom. Take out the broom. I really do think he's going to get it here. You look at the wrecker pick of the day, and I got to agree with Westwood here, and I got to go with Kyle Busch here. He's having a tough season. It's been a tough time here, and we'll see if anything comes through on that. And a dark horse, talked about him earlier on the show. He's had a decent season here so far. I'm going to go with Austin Dillon. I think he comes back and puts it maybe in I want to say a top 10 here. So appreciate all of you guys here. Record. Yep. I think a lot of people agreeing with Kyle Busch there. So we got some Chase Elliott checkers out there. I'll tell you what. I see Brad Haldane chilling out in here. We'll get Brad Haldane's checkers and wreckers picks of the week here. You didn't think you were going to have to do this live, did you?
No, I didn't.
Well, welcome, sir. Who's your checker pick for this week?
I'm going to have to go with you with the Harvick. And
what about your wrecker then?
I say Johnson wrecks it.
Johnson, and then Dark Horse.
That's a tough one. I don't know. I don't think I have one.
Doesn't have a dark horse just yet. Brad, I'll be right back with you here. We're going to have a fun one here. And, hey, I'll keep you on here because I'll tell you what, they want to, Brandon said, talk more about the race yesterday. I'm beat up. I feel it in my ribs. I feel it. Like I said, I have some muscle in between my shoulder and my bicep that I did not know I had. And it burns. It burns bad. But you were a carter. You've done this before, and man, I hadn't. Like I said, I couldn't stop smiling yesterday. I started. I actually got the pole for the second heat, Brad, and I told him I was like, "Can I take an EOL?" He was like, "I'm gonna call you a chicken shit, but yeah, you can do it." And I was like, "Yeah, sounds good. I'll take it." So started at the back. I finished in the back. I just wanted to follow those guys around, get a good idea, make sure I was running that right line and everything like that. Because I'll tell you what, the weekend went like I got a perfect example of how a race weekend goes. As I started off Friday at practice, we got there at 11 o'clock. I didn't hit the track till about 4:30 because brake issues. It was either locking up or it wasn't giving me anything. So I either couldn't go because it was just gripping so tight, or I had absolutely nothing. So that was a little frustrating. We get it out. We finally get it fixed and all situated. We go out to practice. The first run here, I get 2 laps in. I dip a tire, and I throw the chain. It's like, oh, man. So then I got to get it back ready for the heat. Like I said, I actually had the pole, and then I start towards the I drop to the back, finish in the back there, and then to the feature. Went into the first, not the first turn, but the first lap around the hairpin that they have right around the 3/4 of the way through the track. And there was just a few carts that spun it out in front of me. And that's when I realized you don't slam on the brake because you're just spinning it if you do. So that was, I mean, it was a pile up in front of me. I had to do something. I spun it around and I did back it in. Got a little bend on the back bar, but hey, it's all good. It's all it took. But then I tried to pull it forward, and I got stuck in the grass. So I had to hop out, push it out, and got lapped, but held my own. It was about lap 16 or 17 out of 20, and I'm over there going, man, we got to be about done. We got to be about done. I feel like I've been out here for a year. It's like I am dying. It's like I realized right then I need to definitely get a little better in shape here. I thought I was somewhat okay, but yesterday was a kind of a quick reality there.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it, but it'll definitely kick your ass.
Absolutely. Oh, 100% there. Yeah, it just throws you around there. And, I mean, like I said, though, I had an absolute blast. I'll tell you what, I actually raced against Doug Bull's son out there. He races out there. So that was kind of cool. He's fast. He got around me with nothing. And it was just so much fun to go out there. I got the blue and orange flag, and I think I held up a lap without them actually, like, catching me. And then I gave it right over. I was doing perfect. I wasn't like I was in iRacing there. You'd be proud. I didn't just pull over and say, just go.
Yep. Well, when the borders open up, I'm definitely going to have to come down and give you a hand.
Fun. Absolutely. You've done some karting yourself, and you've been sending me. Hopefully, I'm inspiring people to get into it.
You are. It's just I don't know what's going on around here because I did it when I was a kid, and I don't know how much there is left around here.
Absolutely.
I've been out of that game for a long time, but yeah, I remember doing that as a kid, and I used to have a little chest protector underneath to help with
the feeling of your ribs the next day. Like
with
right here.
In the seat.
Right here really hurts, Brad. I don't know if you can see me, but whoo, baby, that's a little tender right there.
Oh, yeah, because that's right where the top of the seat comes, right?
Absolutely, yep.
Right on. Yeah. If you can, pick up like it's not anything all that much. It's a small little chest protector, almost kind of like a Kevlar fucking
right.
body
Whoa! Dropping the F-bomb on a friendly family show.
My bad.
I know what you're saying, though. I'm with you. Somebody let me try one on, and it just didn't fit me because when I sat down in the seat, it was like up in my armpits.
Ah, yeah.
I've been driving elbows out. Doesn't look right in a go-kart.
Yeah, just make sure you don't touch tires like I did once. That was
no.
Right.
Did you go up?
Oh yeah, I went up. I bounced off the kid's steering wheel, broke his hand, and when it knocked me up, I started going nose down, and I was halfway out of the seat. Once I hit, I landed, and the seat went right underneath my bottom rib, and I folded over the seat, and it slammed me back into the cart.
There.
Yeah, that was.
That's gotta love the good karting stories there. I heard some decent ones out there yesterday.
One of the scariest moments I had wasn't even a wreck. It was me blowing a motor up. One of the tracks, it was big hairpin and a big long straightaway, and it ends in a chicane. Just as I'm about to hit the braking point, I put the valve right through the head. So it just went and nothing. I'm like, what?
Right, absolutely. Uh-oh. I gotta pull this bad boy off. That's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Karting is such a fun deal there. I had an absolute blast. And I know racing can tend to be expensive, but man, there's ways to go out there. Get your kids to knock on some local businesses. They got to get their names out there. And it's such a great community. I mean, you hear that all the time. You don't understand it until you witness it. Like I broke the jacket, the zipper broke on mine yesterday. I asked Mr. Stone, he's out there, he's a Borelli dealer, and I actually posted their information on the Checkers and Records page. He tossed me a jacket like it was he didn't know me. He's like, here, you need to use one, here, use it. So, yep. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal out there. Just a big shout out to those guys and big thank you to everybody because, like, I was ready to do the same thing. One guy was like, man, I forgot my front hubs. And I was like, dude, I got a couple extras if you need to use them. And he found something else, but everybody's just willing to toss in and help out and do what is needed there. So.
Especially when you're first starting and they see that you're just first starting. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So many people came over to me. It's like, hey, well, you need to maybe try this. So, and then they'll bring different tools. Like Brandon, he brought over a laser tool to align the clutch and the gear back there. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just such a a good community. I don't know, as you step up into racing, you're going to get more competitive. You're going to get guys that shut their doors and don't do that. So live it up in karting. It's so much fun there, guys. And if you have the chance, just go check out a karting race because they are. It was just loads of fun, and it's quick action. And I think it all started about 11. It was over at 4. So that quick. Say that.
It's fairly inexpensive compared to other forms of motorsport.
Oh, yeah, compared to other forms. But looking at it, you say it's inexpensive. Somebody sees the dollar figure of what they're spending. They're like, that ain't inexpensive. But no, compared to getting into any other style of racing, I would think outside of iRacing that this is the cheapest that there is.
Yep, definitely. Until you see some of the bigger teams that end up showing up.
Oh, that's a little intimidating at times. They come with a trailer, a hauler, 16 carts. I'm pulling out of an Odyssey, 1 cart with duct tape numbers, dude. Yeah, I get you. Trust me.
Yeah. You know, they got the full rig, the setup, you know, computers, fucking guys and just mechanics for every cart. And yeah, it's a little intimidating, a little discouraging sometimes when you see that.
But then you go out and you're faster than them. It's like, wow.
Not even just that, but you're just going out there and just having fun with yourself. You know, you're going to be racing, and you know, even if you're competitive, you're still going to end that race with a giant smile on your face.
Absolutely. Yep, I did. So
the only time I ever had a bad
is when you flipped out.
Is when I that same race where I told you that I blew up the cart.
Right.
It was really slow. You could tell it was on its last legs. Just you couldn't figure out why, and we found out why is because the valve, the head wasn't too good, and the valve dropped and pushed and pissed it right back through the head.
Yep.
And I was frustrated because I knew I was quick. I knew it was like a top 5 cart, and I started on pole and outside pole in both my heat races. I dropped right to the back.
Nice.
It was just frustrating because I knew I could be up there, and then in the feature race found out why.
Right, absolutely. Well, Brad, thank you so much for letting me pull you up here and just impromptu interview there.
Yeah, it was unexpected, but hey.
Usually you're terrible with interviews, man, and today you nailed it. You did a great job.
After a race, it's a bit different.
I don't know what to do with my hands. That's Brad after a race there. Thanks. Thank you again, Brad, for tuning in. And I think you're going to be rocking that Pricks of Pavement tonight too, aren't you?
I am.
Well, there you go. Look out for that. I think all 3 of our guests might be in that same race here tonight. Brad, thanks so much for tuning in or joining in with us. Thank you all for tuning in today to Checkers and Wreckers. Hopefully Howdy gets feeling better, and we will be back to normal next week. Thank you all. You guys have a fantastic Sunday. I'll see you later on CWT.